Remember the gentle warmth of tiny fingers wrapped around yours? That precious moment when your child first smiled at you, or the sound of small feet racing down the hallway calling mommy or daddy. Those memories are treasures, aren't they? But sometimes life takes unexpected turns, and the children we raised with such devotion seem to drift away like leaves in autumn. Today, let's have a heart-to-heart about something many of us face but few dare to discuss: what happens when our grown children become distant, and how we can find peace and dignity in this new chapter of life. I understand the ache you might be feeling right now. The unanswered calls, the shortened visits, the sense that somehow you've become an afterthought in lives you once centered your world around. But stay with me, because what we're about to explore isn't just about managing pain. It's about rediscovering joy, purpose, and perhaps even finding a path back to meaningful connection with your children. Think of this as a conversation with someone who understands, someone who's walked alongside many others facing similar challenges. Together, we'll explore wisdom gathered from countless stories of parents who found their way through this valley to higher ground. Their experiences light our path forward. Let me tell you about Margaret, a retired nurse from Minnesota. For 40 years, she poured her heart into caring for others, including raising 3 children as a single mother. "I thought I had done everything right," she told me, her voice soft but steady. "I worked extra shifts to send them to good schools, never missed a game or recital, and now..." She paused, touching the locket containing their childhood photos. "Now I'm lucky if they remember my birthday." Margaret's story might echo your own experience. Perhaps you too have sat by the phone, waiting for calls that don't come, or found yourself wondering how the children who once couldn't bear to let you out of their sight now seem to have forgotten you exist. The pain is real, and it deserves acknowledgement. But here's what I want you to know: this chapter of your story isn't over, and you have more power than you might realize to write its next pages. Through the wisdom of those who've walked this path before us, we've discovered 8 transformative insights that can help you reclaim your peace of mind and self-worth, while potentially rebuilding bridges to your children's hearts. These aren't just theories. They're proven approaches that have helped countless parents navigate this challenging terrain with dignity and hope. The first step is understanding what's really happening in your heart when you feel ignored or disrespected by your children. It's natural to experience a storm of emotions: hurt, anger, confusion, and sometimes even shame. These feelings can color every aspect of your life, making even the brightest days seem dim. But as Mr. Tanaka, a retired teacher I'll tell you about, discovered, there's immense power in pausing to reflect before reacting to these emotions. Instead of letting his emotions drive his actions, he chose to pause and reflect. During his walks in the park, he realized something profound: his worth wasn't determined by his children's attention or lack thereof. He practiced what I like to call the dignity pause. When you feel the surge of hurt or anger, take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself, will my reaction bring me peace? Recall 3 moments in your life when you showed great strength. Then, choose your response from a place of wisdom, not wound. By mastering this simple yet powerful practice, you allow yourself to navigate emotions with grace rather than reactivity. Next, let's talk about rebuilding your life with purpose. It's easy to feel as though an empty nest signals the end of significance, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Mrs. Elena's story teaches us about the transformative power of finding new purpose. After her husband's passing and her children's gradual withdrawal, she could have surrendered to despair. Instead, she chose to plant seeds, both literally in her garden and figuratively in her life. She started by identifying activities that once brought her joy, then explored new interests she had always been curious about. She found fulfillment in sharing her wisdom with others and looked for opportunities to contribute to her community. Whether it's learning something new, volunteering, or reigniting an old passion, discovering purpose outside of parenthood brings a renewed sense of fulfillment. The third key is mastering the art of wise communication. Mr. Peterson's letter to his son James demonstrates the power of speaking from the heart without blame. When we communicate from love rather than hurt, we open doors that anger would slam shut. Consider this: instead of saying, "You never call me anymore," try, "I miss hearing your voice and sharing in your life." Rather than, "Don't you care about me at all?" say, "I'd love to find ways to stay more connected with you." Small shifts in language can make all the difference in whether a conversation builds bridges or erects walls. Another crucial lesson is setting boundaries with grace. Mrs. Rose's journey shows us that respect must flow both ways. By setting healthy boundaries, she not only protected her own well-being but also taught her son Daniel how to treat her with greater consideration. Start by identifying your personal limits, communicate them with love, and maintain consistency in enforcing them. Understand that initial resistance is normal, but in the long run, boundaries strengthen relationships rather than weaken them. Fifth, let's talk about leading by example through dignity. Mr. Lorenzo's story illustrates how maintaining your dignity can silently teach others how to treat you. His unwavering kindness and respect, even in the face of neglect, eventually led to a transformation in his family's behavior. Treat others with the respect you desire, maintain your integrity regardless of how others behave, and practice forgiveness without compromising your worth. By embodying dignity, you show others how to value and respect you. Financial independence is another important foundation of security. The Carter story demonstrates how financial independence contributes to maintaining dignity and respect in family relationships. While not everyone's circumstances allow for complete financial independence, taking steps toward greater financial security can help prevent dependency-related tensions. Review and optimize your budget regularly. Explore ways to reduce expenses without sacrificing quality of life. Consider consulting a financial advisor, and stay informed about senior benefits and resources. The seventh step is embracing the freedom of forgiveness. Mrs. Evelyn's journey shows us how forgiveness can free us from the prison of resentment while maintaining our sense of worth. She learned to acknowledge her pain without dwelling in it, understanding that forgiveness is for her peace, not necessarily reconciliation. She released expectations while maintaining boundaries and shifted her focus toward her own growth and happiness. In doing so, she found joy again in painting, a passion she had abandoned long ago. Finally, we must learn to build our own circle of joy. Mr. Harold's story reminds us that we can create rich, fulfilling lives regardless of our children's choices. His decision to join the Seniors Club led to unexpected friendships and adventures that enriched his life in new ways. Consider joining community groups aligned with your interests, volunteering for causes you care about, or participating in local senior activities. Even adopting a pet can bring companionship and joy. As we conclude our time together, I want you to remember something important. Your worth isn't measured by your children's attention or validation. You are the same incredible person who raised those children, who sacrificed and loved and gave your all. That strength hasn't diminished. If anything, it's grown with every challenge you've faced. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself 6 months from now, standing tall in your truth, surrounded by purpose and peace. Picture yourself engaged in activities that bring you joy, connected to a community that values your presence, living each day with dignity and grace. This isn't just a dream, it's a possibility waiting to unfold. Remember, dear friend, your story isn't over. In fact, some of the most beautiful chapters may still lie ahead. Take these insights, hold them close, and know that you're not walking this path alone. Your journey matters, your peace matters, and most importantly, you matter. Until we meet again, walk with dignity, live with purpose, and let your light shine. The world still needs your wisdom, your love, and your unique spirit.